Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kyra and this is my Back to Beauty No Buy Year. This year I'm concentrating on using my makeup and not buying any. Today I'm using my makeup to bring to you my current base makeup routine. This includes primer, foundation, concealer, powder, bronzer, blush, and highlight, and setting spray. I thought it would be fun, I hope, to bring to you my current rotation of products, my current rotation of brushes, and how I like to apply things and so on. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So for primer, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Primed in Peachy Cooling Matte Skin Perfecting Primer. I told you guys that I was going to repurchase this during the Sephora VIB sale, and I did. I did purchase the mini or deluxe size because I really only use this during the warmer months, and I think this size will be better for me. I really don't use this during the winter months or the cooler months because I don't need it, and so I didn't want to buy the full size and then have it hang out through the cooler months and, you know, possibly go to waste. And I just apply this on my T-zone. That's the only place I really need it. All right, so I've let my primer sit for a few minutes. This one actually does kind of set down pretty quickly. So I'm gonna first go in with my color corrector. This is the Pixi by Petra Correction Concentrate in Brightening Peach. And then I have this little Sonia Kashuk. It's an angled concealer brush. And what I'm going to do is I have this melasma over my lip, no hair, just melasma, and I'm going to just press this into that skin. I find that this dabbing, pressing motion lends to the best coverage for this type of product. And then for foundation today, we're going to use the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation. You will see that this is already starting to be too light of a shade for me, so I'm trying to finish it up. From the windows, I'm like all the way down here, so it won't be long. I love this foundation because it's a beautiful foundation, but I also love this big old doe foot on here. So I just put a little on each section at a time and then I blend it in. And so then I just sort of work section by section. You'll see that I don't really apply a ton of foundation, just enough for evening out my skin tone. And I barely put any up where I put that corrector. What I'll do is put it on the sides of my mouth and then I'll work it up just a little bit over the upper lip. And this foundation and its coverage are exactly my jam. When it comes to foundation, I really probably prefer like a BB cream coverage, but I don't always prefer a BB cream texture. BB creams are very emollient, which is not always the most appropriate choice for my combo skin. All right, concealer. Shark Tape in the shade Light Neutral. And this is my last brightening concealer, as I mentioned in a previous video. So it won't be long and I will be able to repurchase something new. And I think that something new will probably be the Bendy Avocado concealer because I've been dying to try that, which you might know already if you watched my 2020 wish list video about the things I think I may purchase when my no buy is over. And I just use the tip of my beauty blender and apply this just like a normal person. Whatever that is. And then I always take the part of the sponge where I used it for my foundation and just kind of go around the edge of where I put the concealer just for what will hopefully be a little bit better of a blend. All right, we are back and brows are did. Still rocking the wet dog look, but that's okay. For powder, I'm going to use my fave Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Setting Powder. So how I do my powder is I like to press it into my skin first, and then once I have it all pressed into the skin, working in quadrants just like I did with my foundation, then I go back and kind of do a buffing motion, make sure it's smoothed out as well as buffing away any excess. I forgot to set my under eye. This is a Luxie 522 tapered highlight brush, and I'm just going to get a little bit on there and then tap it off and lightly set the under eye. This is my favorite powder for setting under my eyes, the Laura Mercier, as well as for setting my face. And I do pay like special attention around my mouth, really working the powder into my smile lines on the side, onto the mostly color corrector base up here, which is very emollient. And also, it's just the part of my face that has like the most wear and tear during the day. So now I go back in and I just do slight buffing motions, not so hard that it disturbs the foundation underneath, but pressed enough that there's actually some buffing going on. So next is bronzer, and today I'm going to use the number 7 Match Made bronzer in the shade Caramel. This is in my spring capsule makeup collection, as well as in my Choose Your Own Adventure and Project Panning. And I just start by working it into my temple area as you would have seen, and just kind of working it down. I mean, most of you probably know how to put on bronzer, but this is how I put on bronzer. So if I'm telling you stuff you already know, hopefully you'll forgive that for those who don't know. And I just build it up until I'm happy with it, which is one of the reasons I love this bronzer, is because I can actually build it up to the way I like it, versus something that's super pigmented. And I do have some super pigmented bronzers that, you know, I just have to pay closer attention when I'm using them. But this is very carefree, everyday, whip it on, be done kind of bronzer. All right, blush, my darling. So for today's blush, I'm going to use the Tarte Amazonian 12-Hour Blush in Party. Everybody and their grandma has this. This is my P12 brush from Aesthetica. I got this in a BoxyCharm, and it is legitimately my favorite brush. I'm pretty sure I could use it for anything and everything. Another good option to this brush would be the Real Techniques blush brush. I like that one as well. I tend to use that more with softer, scarier blushes that are a little more pigmented. And I always just start on the apples of my cheek and work my way up. I will do a slight draping on the side. We'll get to that in a moment. And I start off with dabbing and swiping motions, working my way back to the temple or towards the temple. And this is just a beautiful sort of neutral blush for me. I think when I use it with a warmer look, it looks warmer, and when I use it with a cooler look, it looks cooler. But this is definitely a favorite. I have a feeling that even though we once had a love-hate relationship, if I ever use this up completely, which I'm fairly certain I will repurchase it. And I kind of start up here on the temple, right under where the peak of my hairline is. I start up here and just work my way down to where we stopped the blush here. And, you know, sometimes I go heavier than others. You know, this is not like your official draping situation, but it is something I like to do because when I do actually blush, you know, it kind of goes all the way up. And I encourage you to step back. When you're doing your base makeup, you know, it's real easy to get all up in your mirror or what have you, it's nice to either sit back, step back, whatever your beauty space situation is, and just sort of take it in as other people would take it in. And to me, looking straight on, this looks even to me. For highlighter, I thought, why not go bougie or go home? So we're going to use my Kevyn Aucoin Nilo highlighter in the shade Sahara. And this is in my Shop My Stash for May. And I have two different highlighting brushes that I love to use interchangeably. Sometimes it depends on the product, sometimes it depends on the effect that I want. But I do have this same one that I use for setting under my eyes. I have two of them. One I reserved for setting under the eyes, and the other I reserved for highlighting. And again, this is the Luxie 522 tapered highlighting brush. And then my other brush that I like for a more targeted, punchy glow, this is more of a soft glow application. This one is a little bit more punchy, works good with things like a baked gelée formula for picking it up. But this is Morphe M501. It's not by any means a high quality brush. I just like the size and the fact that it is a little scratchy, so it does pick up nicely baked gelée products, or as well as it works for a really beautiful targeted highlighter. So we're actually going to use both today so that I can go ahead and show you. So I'm first going to go in with the Luxie brush, and I'm going to go in close to the rose shade, but kind of in the middle of the lightest and the rose shade. Tap that off, and we're going to start up here by the temple and work our way down. And then same application, and we're going to work our way from back here toward the apple of the cheek. And now for a more targeted highlight on my cheekbones, I'm going to go into that vanilla shade with the Morphe brush. Barely tap off the excess, and then I'm just going to go ahead and target this on the apple of my cheek. It's just ever so slightly lighter than the rest, and I think it just brings kind of a beautiful focused glow to the cheekbones. And I also like this brush from Morphe because it's scratchy. It does make an ideal brush for actually buffing certain highlighters into your skin. So if you have a highlighter that seems like it really just likes to sit on the top of your skin and you want it to be more diffused and soft, then maybe look in your collection, shop your stash for a small, scratchy, even a eyeshadow brush, which I think this might be. That scratchy texture, I'm not talking sandpaper, I'm talking less than soft. You know, it does really help to buff certain highlighters into the skin. And then I'm going to use that same vanilla shade for the rest of my face, on the nose, the tip of the nose, anyhow, woo, and the chin. And then I like to put a little bit on the Cupid's bow with my phalange. So that is the face done. Last step for me is setting my face. So the setting spray I'm going to use today, that's actually in a different bottle, is the Pacifica Pineapple Flower Oil-Free Matte Mist. This has pineapple and hyaluronic acids in it, and it is said to be for oily and combination skin. Plus, it doesn't hurt that it smells like butter bronzer. I do find that whether I use this under makeup or over makeup, it does extend the longevity of my makeup as well as help to set the powders down. And that is it. I'm going to go ahead and gel my brows and finish my face, and then we'll come back for my final thoughts. Ta-da! This is my makeup finished. I really hope you guys enjoyed seeing my current base makeup routine. I really enjoy all of these products and all of the brushes that I mentioned in this video. I will have everything listed down below. I'm not entirely sure that everything is still available, but mostly, I mean, you don't need these products. What you need is to develop a base makeup routine or grouping of products and brushes that work for you. It's a very personal thing what you do for your base makeup routine. This is the routine that is my go-to currently. I do use other things, but these are all of my fave products right now. So with all of that said, I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful base makeup days. You knew that was coming. And I will see you in my next video soon.